This video is going to show you how to use Velocitek SpeedPlay to conveniently download GPS data from a group of Velocitek devices and easily create a race replay animation complete with marks and a background map automatically imported from the Microsoft Virtual Earth server. We've just connected 4 Velocitek SC1s to this PC through a USB hub. If we look at Velocitek SpeedPlay now, we'll see icons corresponding to each device appear. Next to each icon, you can see the name of the boat on which the device was mounted. This information was programmed onto the devices before the event. Now that the computer has recognized all the devices we just connected to the USB hub, we're going to download all the data from the day's racing. To do this, we click on each icon to highlight all the icons and select Download. Now we're prompted to choose the time interval we want to download. We know the racing today took place between noon and about 10 after 3, so we put that in here for the start time and end time. And hit OK. Once all the data has downloaded from the devices, we click on the Library tab to see all the tracks we just downloaded. Here are the names of the boats corresponding to each track. We're going to assemble all these individual tracks into a new replay. We'll do this by selecting them while holding down the Control key. Once we have all the tracks highlighted, we click New Replay. And there they are. We can zoom in and out using the scroll wheel on the mouse. We can pan by clicking the left button on the mouse, holding it down, and dragging. The day's racing took place on a simple windward leeward course. Here is the start, with all the boats sailing up and down the line. This is the windward mark. We can see all the boats rounding the mark there. One really cool feature of Velocitek SpeedPlay is the ability to automatically import map backgrounds from the Microsoft Virtual Earth server. If we're connected to the internet, we can do that by just clicking on this globe icon. Now if we zoom out, we can see map imagery appear for the region surrounding the race course. The next thing we're going to do is adjust the orientation of the race course on the screen so that the windward mark here is at the top of the screen. To do that, we go to the bottom left corner of the screen and select the Course Angle tab. To change the angle of the course, we just click on the compass needle and drag it around like this. Now we'll find the start of the first race. To do that, we'll use the automatic pan and zoom feature. To enable this feature, we click on the Pan Zoom tab here in the bottom left corner of the screen, and then tick the Auto Pan Zoom box. If we move the slider here, we'll see that the frame that we're watching the race in automatically tracks the boats. We can see them here at the beginning, maneuvering around the start line, and then heading upwind. So the start is somewhere around here. Let's go up here and click Set Replay Start. That's going to cut off all the data that was recorded prior to this point in time. Now we want to find the end of the first race. This race was just one lap around the windward mark, and then back to the finish. This is the end of the first race here, so we're going to click Set Replay End. Now we're going to deselect the Auto Pan Zoom feature and click here in the middle of the panning control to recenter our view. This lets us see the entire first race with all the extraneous data cut off. Now let's add some marks to the race course. To do that, we click on the Add Mark button up here, and a new mark appears in the middle of the screen. We can click on this mark and drag it to where we want. We can change the name of the mark by going over here to the left side and selecting the Marks tab. Let's double-click on the mark name and change it to Windward. Let's create 2 more marks to be the committee boat and pin. Instead of dragging these into place, we'll position them by directly entering in their GPS coordinates, which were provided to us by the race committee. Now that we have the marks and a matte background set up, let's re-enable Auto Pan Zoom and watch the replay. To start the replay, we hit the play button here, and we can see the boat start to move around the race course. We have a number of options for how we can display the tracks. Right now, the track display mode is full. The entire track for each boat is displayed from the start of the race to the end of the race. We can choose proximity mode by clicking on the P icon down here. This shows a bit of the track in front of each boat and a bit of track behind each boat. There's also tail, which only shows a portion of the track behind each boat. This slider here is for changing the speed of the replay. We can set it from anywhere between actual speed, which looks very slow on a big map like this, all the way up to 100 times actual speed. Also, while we are watching the replay, we can see the current speed of each boat in knots if we select the Competitors tab here. Now that we've set up Race 1 as a finished replay, let's save. To start putting together Race 2, let's go up here to Edit Replay Times and select Reset to Bounds. That takes the start and end times that we chose in setting up Race 1 and resets them to the beginning and end of all the available data. Now we'll set up the start time for the second race. There's the first race that we just set up. And now here's the second race. We'll set this as the replay start. We can see the second race was 2 laps. We'll set this as the end of the second race. Let's save this as Race 2. We could then go and repeat this process for each race in the regatta, saving the race, resetting the start and end times to the bounds, and then setting the start and end times again for the next race. If we go back to the library and select the Replays tab, we can see the races we just created. We can launch a replay by highlighting the replay and then selecting Open. And there's Race 1 the way we set it up at the beginning of this demonstration. Thanks for taking the time to watch this demo. If you would like to try out Velocitek SpeedPlay yourself, a 30-day free trial preloaded with the race data used in this demonstration is available for download at velocitek.com.